Hey everyone, it's Dan from Sidehustle So today we're going to be looking at something a bit different on my channel, something I've not really shown before. We're going to be looking at the cryptocurrency known as Helium and how to mine it. And you may be thinking, why am I looking at this? So if you don't know, I actually did start mining crypto about 6 or 7 years ago. But then when I bought my house, I decided to move away from it due to the increasing cost of electricity. But one of my close friends outside of YouTube actually mentioned about Helium and how profitable it is to mine and how easy it is to get started, really. So as is the case, I'm actually going to be looking into Helium mining as a whole. I actually bought myself a miner and I am actually making profit daily on it. And I'm going to show you a realistic expectation of what you can mine by using the platform and how low of a barrier entry it actually is compared to other miners like Ethereum and Bitcoin miners. Anyways, let's actually go and have a quick look downstairs. I'll see you over there. Before we actually get into the bread and butter of this video, I want to mention that this is not financial advice. This is what I've done to make some passive income. Please do your own research before buying into anything with regards to stocks, shares, or cryptocurrencies. So firstly, you may be wondering, what actually is Helium? Well, Helium, known as HNT, is the native cryptocurrency of the Helium blockchain. It is used to reward those who maintain, validate, and provide coverage for the network. There is currently a max supply of 223 million coins, which will be the final amount. No more coins will exist beyond that. Before actually getting into Helium mining, I always suggest checking out the helium.com Explorer site. Link is in the description, where you can actually see your transmit scale for your postal address, and that'll actually show you how worth it is doing. So for example, the lower the transmit scale is, the less share you would have of the earnings when actually mining on the platform. Mine's currently around 0.28 because there is 5 other miners in my local area. To get started, I actually decided to buy the Bobcat Miner 300. It was the EU model since I live in Europe. I paid around £399 or $501.34. But I did actually purchase this with a cashback card, which offered 4%, so that means I actually got a discount of £15.96. One big thing when it comes to Helium mining is, if you do want to get started and you want to buy directly from the suppliers, there is a 6-month waiting list for these miners. But what I decided to do is I decided to go into eBay and pay a user there to just get it shipped straight to my house. That way I don't have to deal with import charges. I can just get the miner and get it set up so I can actually quickly make my money back as fast as possible. Once the miner has been received, you just need to open the box up, plug it in, and then download the Helium Miner app. And then you just need to follow the instructions. These instructions can be a bit confusing at times, so what I would suggest doing is leaving it plugged in for around an hour or two and then setting it up. I noticed that there's several issues, especially with mine, where it said it was ready to be synced, it wasn't syncing, and I just had to leave the device for around 3 or 4 hours, come back, and then I could finish the setup. Once you finish the setup, it's connected to Ethernet or the Wi-Fi, you can actually start to let it sync. So when it's actually syncing to the Helium blockchain, it can take up to 72 hours for it to fully sync up once installed. The one way to check if it actually is fully synced, you can either check the application and it'll show up active, or you can go to the helium.com Explorer again, and then under the status of the miner, you'll actually see it showing as active, and then you'll know it's actually mining. And then you can just leave it running constantly, and you can actually start to get some HNT tokens passively. When it comes to the electric costs associated with the miner, I want to showcase what I've spent over the last 10 days. So this mine has been on constantly for 10 days and it cost me around 9p or 13 cents to run for the entirety of those 10 days. My current kilowatt hour price is 17p. That means it cost me around 1.3 cents a day to run this miner, which is pretty cheap for what it is. Following on from that, profit is a totally different story. So after the 72 hours of syncing, I've only been running the miner for 7 days. And as is the case, I won't be counting the initial 3 days because I don't think that's going to give a good representation of what you would be getting across a 10-day period if you've been mining for longer than a month. As is the case, over the last 7 days, I have mined 0.218 HNT, which is $1.82 at the current price of Helium. This means that I'm actually making 0.26 cents a day in revenue, and around 0.247 cents in profit after the electric costs. This does mean that it would take me around 2,029 days to pay off the miner at the current price of HNT. But the reason I actually really bought into the device is for the long-term benefits with it. I believe that the Helium miner will make its money back quicker due to the price of the coin. Currently, cryptocurrency is down massively, And I think just by having this device, once it does increase, the value will also go up. Another thing I want to compare this to really quickly is the stock market with regards to exchange traded funds. If you put $500 into exchange traded fund and got an average return of 8%, you'd only end up with $40 in profit. But with this miner, you'd end up making $90.15 if the transmission scale is above 0.28. And if the coin stayed at the same value that it is currently. As this is the case, do I think the miner is worth it? I definitely do. Oh yes. As mentioned previously, I much rather get items which is going to create a long-term benefit to myself. And I think this is a new exciting way to make money in 2022 without actually having a large overhead. And obviously there is the big barrier to entry with regards to the cost of the unit. But if you can get that relatively cheap by looking on eBay and looking for local sellers selling these miners, it's definitely worth doing. But yeah, I think it's definitely worth doing, and I think this is an exciting way to actually make a bit of passive income if you're not doing it already. Anyways, that's enough for this video. If you do have any questions about the miner I've got, Helium as a whole, please let me know in the comments. I'm happy to actually help where I can. Right now on screen you can actually see two videos right now. One is for a phone farming on one device guide, as well as the other one is 9 ways to earn passively on your laptop. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys real soon.